me to come back. There I am. Hi, how are you going? Welcome to today's Hooray, it's Thursday. I'm live from the beautiful Central Coast. Excuse the mess behind me. I've been creating up a storm with my Christmas cards, and that's what I've got to show to you today. So today I'm going to play with Christmas greenery. It's part of the Traditions of Christmas suite. The Traditions of Christmas has two stamp set and die bundles in it. It's one of our bigger bundles. It's worth $244. It's one that you could actually get for $169 if you're thinking about it. Can I strongly suggest that you look at the joining specials that we've got currently? There's two joining specials. One's for $60, one's for $169, and it just depends on what you want to pop into it. If you're after a cut and emboss machine, you need to go with the $169 special. Feel free to ask me more about these specials as we go, because I will be chatting to you about them. Oh, hello, Donna. I'm on her big TV, honestly. Hi. Feel free to ask me about the specials as we go, and any other questions that you've got, just pop them into the comments and we'll have a play. So today I'm playing with Christmas greenery, part of the Traditions of Christmas suite. Heaps and heaps of goodies to show you. And this is what I'm going to start with. I have a bit of a mess on my table. This is the stamp set that I'm going to play with mainly because there's something. Hi, Elizabeth. You need to check every box that arrives at your place. You need to check it ASAP because my dies for my labels didn't arrive. So Stampin' Up are sending them out separately. So that's all good. Thanks, Donna. But I haven't got them today. So what I've done is I've pulled over the Peaceful Greenery, the Peace on Earth dies, and this Peaceful Greenery embossing folder, because I'm going to have a play and we're going to do a bit of mix and match. So we're playing in a couple of suites, and I also brought over the textured rub-ons because there's gold in there and they go perfectly because I like all the splotchy bits. Don't mind my gem that's down there. So I've got those. Don't know if I'm going to use them. You know how it is. I did bring over these are the Greetings for You Mix and Match ephemera pack. There's quite a few fun greetings in there. Again, the gold will just be perfect on it. So we'll just see how we go. All right. I'm going to sort of stray a little bit from what is a usual expected Christmas card here. I just absolutely love this paper. So, which is why I wanted to use it today. Okay, so the designer series paper is just beautiful. It's a specialty paper, so it does have gold on it. Look at these guys, aren't they glorious? How big and beautiful are they? So they cut out these images here, but they also, and that's what I wanted to work with mainly, is I wanted to show you they cut out some of the images from here. This paper, there's two packets in here, so it's not usually this full, but I want to play with this piece here because it's just so pretty. And you'll notice the flecks of the pool party, which is that lovely little different color. I'm going to use that. Like, there's so many pretty paper pieces in here, but we're using this piece as our main piece because if you look here, and I'm pretty sure it's this piece. I didn't check before I started. It's not this piece. Ah! All right. Well, look, back to the drawing board. Let's pull out the other piece. Whoa. You should check these things before you start, Claude. All right. There it is there. Thought I had it all sorted, but obviously I didn't. This piece here is the piece I was looking for. Okay, this is the piece here that our bits cut out with our die. And it's upside down. And you'll see, there we go. Okay, this piece here is the other piece that cuts out with our die. But do you know what? Do you know what made me buy this? Just one thing, and that was these leaves and these berries. Because I love when we've got something with holly. And although in Australia, you know, don't sort of see much holly, I just needed it. The holly is just beautiful. Okay, other pieces on here we can fussy cut. But I'm going to cut out a full one of these with our die. and I'm going to cut out that one. So what I'll do is, there's a few things that I do first when I'm preparing to cut some stuff out. I usually, because there's quite a few on here that you can get out of here, and then there's a few bits. But to ensure that I get all the full ones that I possibly can, I'll often cut around it. I do cut around it just to make sure I get as many of them out as I possibly can when I'm die cutting. Now, these little ones here, you can fussy cut around. I've got a friend that doesn't like fussy cutting, but she can get over it. And they make a quite pretty bunch themselves. And this is a beautiful one that would work absolutely gloriously if you were to, yeah, I want the ones with the, there's 2 different flower sets on here. And I actually want, I'm going to be particular about which ones I want, because I want the ones with the pool party flowers. They both work with the die, but I particularly, see how these ones have got our pink flowers? I actually want the ones with the pool party flowers, because I'm going to bring in that pool party. Hi, Stampin' Tan, how you going? Now, one of the things that you can do, so I'm going to cut out all of the ones that are the same. There's another one up here. One of the things that you can do with this is you can actually paper towel it, and you can make it so that it's layer upon layer. And one of the crafts that I used to do before I started, actually before I even started scrapbooking, that's 2 the same. Yep, that's 2 the same. And there is a 3rd, and there is a 4th, 5. So there's quite a few of them on here. Before I started scrapbooking, I used to do paper towel. And one of the things I loved about paper towel, and I've brought it through to my card making, is those layers upon layers. If you remember the magnolias, they were fabulous for it. So if I cut out these 3, we can use that to our advantage. Okay, so I know it looks a bit like a dog's breakfast now. Yeah, you can hear the baby. Hi, Tanya, how you going? Hi, Lol. The baby chickens are really noisy because there's so many of them. It looks like a bit of a dog's breakfast, this paper now, but that's okay, because I'm going to end up cutting them all out, because although there's 2 sides, and I do like the back side of this piece, that's why I just buy more paper. You know, you can always get more, unless it's while supplies last. So I'm going to be cutting these pieces out with our die cutting machine, and I'm going to, and if you after a die cutting machine, the join special that's $169 is your friend, okay? Because you can get this beauty. It's normally $244, but why would you pay $244 when you can get it for $169? Is my question. And then get a continual discount. Plus, you can get another extra goodies. Both bundles at the moment, there's a $60 bundle and a $169 bundle. You're getting $175 worth of product free. So depending on how big your wish list is, depends on which bundle you pick. Depending on what your budget is, depends on which bundle you pick as your joining special. All right. Ooh. So I'm just going to quickly cut these out so that I can do a bit of planning, because, you know, I do these as is. See, I just wing it. And you'll notice I've got got myself some new, what are they called? Don't mind me. I've got myself some new plates, and let me tell you, it is so nice. I'm just cutting out the second one. When you do paper towel, you're going, and this is going to be it makes a fairly special card. So you want to send this to someone that you really like, I guess. I mean, Christmas card, you send them all to someone you really like. But it's one of those things, you sort of, the more effort required, the more you want to send it to someone that's really going to appreciate it. All right, and that's 2. And the other thing with paper towel, because it's layer upon layer, it can be a little bit forgiving. So if I was to cut one of these layers out a bit bodgy, I'm going to pick the best layer as my bottom layer. And then I'm going to go from, and the reason why I'm cutting them all out is because I'm actually going to go from, once I've cut the 3 of them out. And you can have as many pieces as you need when you're doing paper towel. I once did one that I had, it was of a racehorse, and I actually had 11 pictures of it, 11 of the pictures to use. And I used every single one. So it had so many layers, but this needs to go through the mail. So we just need to keep that in mind when we're doing this. The other thing with paper towel is you actually use silicone. We're going to use dimensionals. Okay. All right. Now you'll notice that as I take that away, I've got these bits on the edge here, and we don't want to forget them. You can use the dies if a die that fits, you can use them to cut that out. But it's just as quick to fussy cut these as it is to grab the machine and run it through. Now that means that you can use these flowers to help you, and the petals and that whatnot to help you paper towel it or to make the layers. But the other thing, I'll show you what I normally do with these side bits is I use them on my inside because we're going to decorate them as well. Okay, and I've just got to hold my tongue straight as I'm cutting this. I'm looking forward to a time when we get some new snips. This particular pair have got a blunt. What was that? I think a wallaby just went past. It's a bit hot for it. Something just went past the window and it wasn't the dog. Because he's asleep here behind me. Might have been a bird. All right, stop looking out the window, Court. See, I can look out the window and fussy cut. And so that can be along the edge of my inside, as can these guys. And it just makes, oh no, I want this one. Makes for a pretty edge too. So you don't have to essentially waste any paper. And if you wanted to get really neurotic, you could cut these little berries out as well. If you've got a hole punch, or if you've got one of our old crocodiles, that would be my suggested tool for that, because yeah, they're only tiny, but they would make really cool little embellishments, especially if you start some. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. I can't think straight because I'm trying to cut and hold my tongue in the right spot at the same time. Our fine tip glue, if you put a dot of it on anything and let it just dry, it dries clear and it acts like a water drop, but on top of these little berries, it gives you a little shiny dome, so they actually look like a gem or something like that. So you can use that to your advantage. Right, so there's 2 pieces for the edge of our paper. Now we've got these 3, and it's going to be a matter of picking which one is the best as our base. And looking at that, I've chopped a little bit off this one. I'm thinking that we might have that one as our base. And then this one I'm going to think about cutting up. So the reason why I'm going to cut it up is I want to actually add some dimension and some depth. So when I look at what's at the back here, this main poinsettia flower here to me is at the back. Right, so it's going to stay at the back, which means I'm going to need to raise these red flowers and these other 3 flowers. That one's only got 3. This one's got 4. No, it's got 3 as well. Turn it around. Okay, now it looks better. 2 on that side, 2 on that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my poinsettia there at the bottom, but I'm going to cut off around here and here. Okay, so cutting that off. And I'm going to cut off around here. And I'm going to actually cut off, I'm going to leave that gold leaf there because I want it at the bottom as well. Okay, so this layer, I'm going to cut off the gold leaves on this side. All right. Just because I want them at the back as well. All right, and I'm actually cutting it quite close to that gold trim there. Okay, we can use them for something else. Don't throw them away, we can use them for something else. Then this piece is literally going to sit on top here. Okay, just to give me a bit of depth. Now I'm going to, out of this piece here, I'm going to cut, oh, hi Cheryl, how you going? I'm now going to cut just my flowers, okay? So again, with the fussy cutting. Now, again, don't throw away these other pieces because you can use them for other things. You can hide them behind other things and they can sort of pop out so that you don't feel like you're wasting anything. But, and it does mean that essentially this one card's going to have 3 lots of flowers on it, and you don't get that many, but you know what, it's going to be worth it, I promise. Okay, so there's lots of things happening in the Stampin' Up world at the moment. We've got our, but the big thing is to remember our joining special. I've got class on this weekend, this weekend, next weekend. I am taking some last minute people if they would like to join us. You're most welcome. Just get in touch with me straight after this video though, because I need to get our orders in. I've still got some seats available for retreat, which is the 2nd weekend in November. If you're interested in coming to retreat, please let me know. And I am also doing retreat in a box. So I'm just going to hold my tongue right in that bit because I am going as close to that gold as I possibly can. I don't want to lose the gold, but I don't want to have too much white left. So there's my flower there. And this pretty little pool party flower. We need to make sure. And if you're doing true paper towel, you'd actually take this petal, and every petal would get, hi Chris, how you going? Oh, hi Sharon, everybody's here. This is excellent. You'd actually be able to, you'd layer all of these petals up, which you can do if you want to just by layering a petal on it, but I'm just going to layer an extra flower on it. Okay, so I just want to make it a little bit paper towel-y, not next level paper towel. Okay, so like it's up to you if you leave that little white edge around it, because the little white edge will be there on the bottom, but we don't necessarily need it on this top piece. Okay, I'm just going to go around this flower here. Yep. Just getting it all. There's another flower. Oh, you know what? That's the wrong flower. That flower belongs on this side. That flower belongs on this side. Make sure they all land in the right spot. That one goes over there. And you'll see I did leave. That's that piece up the top there. Actually, I'm going to take that off. I did leave initially that white piece up there because it's got that gold on it separate. But you know what? We'll use the piece from underneath for that. And then we'll get these guys. Because if we're going to do one side, we have to do both. It just makes it a little bit extra special. One. Oh, here they go again. Baby bird alert. So there's 21 baby birds this time. Just a few. And they're all in their little brooder box on the floor. Oh, so all those pieces, we'll save them for something else. Okay, and that one is going to go on that one there, and this one here is going to go on here. So they're all, I'm just keeping them all up together so that I can start building up my card. So I've got a basic white thick as my background. Oh, hi, Dimity. Yes, retreat is going to be awesome. I just had one of my friends come, new team members come, and she's so looking forward to retreat. And she saw my projects on the table and she goes, oh, when are we making these? And I'm like, Dimity, they're chickens. I've got 21 chickens sitting in the back over here in the craft room. They're hanging out with me at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this piece first, before I do anything else, is I'm actually going to, let me see that it's going to fit. Yeah. I'm going to start by, I'm going to do the white, because I'm going to predominantly, I'm just going to have my pool party as my border. So I'm just lining this up in the middle here. This is a 3D embossing folder. Oh, it's not up far enough. I just want it to be fairly even around. Might actually end up trimming it. So 3D embossing folder. Oh, just move you to the side. Get my pieces for that. And it's, because I like it because it provides a bit of a frame. 3D embossing folders go in with our grey piece, which is number, I think it's number 4. Yep, number 4. And yeah, I love chickens. I love chickens as well, Dimity. And our embossing folder, so that gives us that nice edge. Now, you'll notice it's all being trimmed off because I didn't make that piece wide enough, but I'm okay with that because I am going to sit it on here and I'm going to have it a little bit around. All right, so the trimmer has developed legs now. It's here. We want a little bit of pool party. So I'm just going to make this 10 centimetres. Score tool's not going to cut it for me. And 14.4, and I probably will end up trimming it down a bit more just to go with this piece here. And I'm thinking because I've already trimmed, these sides here are already cut off, I'm going to do the same and get that top nice and close as well. I'm not a fan really of cutting it after it's been embossed, but today I'm making an exception. So I've cut a little bit of extra off, which means I'm going to measure this up on here and see I need to take some more off. All right. And that's just cutting it down a little bit. It cuts so finely. I've just replaced the blade. Look at how skinny that piece is. All right. It just cuts beautifully when you've got a new blade in there. All right. I left my, no, I brought my Versamark over. I left my pool party over there, but that's okay. I guess we're not going to use pool party ink today. All right, so that piece is going to essentially sit on here like so. Yes, it is a little bit smaller than our average. I normally have it fairly square, but that's okay. Now, this piece here, if you look at the piece on Earth, I keep that in there because it goes with it. If you look at the piece on Earth dies, these two pieces here actually fit in amongst here. So you can cut that piece out, but it also means then that you could actually cut out another piece. And I think that just works out so beautifully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a piece of my pool party out of my background here because I can. And I'm also going to cut out, all right, I need another piece of basic white, so I'll just grab another piece of that. While you're up, grab that in. And Cedar's offering to come and get me some ink, which is really good. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how to put the timer on at the beginning, which is pretty cool. And I got distracted. She's
colour is it?
Pool party, please.
Pool party?
Yep. Whoopsie.
You okay?
Yeah, you're going to come and pick that up too.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
That one was me. Is pool party in the rack, I'm guessing?
Yep. We'll just,
Yeah,
don't mind me.
It's not bendy. I'm coming to get it for you.
I could have had it cut out before she got here. Thank you.
Could have.
Okay, so I'm just going to send this through here to make a little frame. Just want it to be a little bit, it's going to be quite an elegant card. And we'll have a white frame as well. No, not that size. Just so that we can do a couple of layers, because it seems to be there's going trend here with what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be layer upon layer upon layer. Okay, now what I often do with white cards, there's that piece, is I'll have an inside as well. So, don't mind me, turn that back over. This piece here that I cut off before, I am going to use it as well. And that one is going to be, let's try to do it. And that's going to be for my inside. Okay? I grabbed a pile of these because it just provides a little bit of a visual pop. And it looks nice. Okay? Haven't done any stamping yet. So, all right. But we've got our card and we've got some layers already happening. Nobody's going to know if we stick that on top of there because you can't see it, and that's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned and you guys are concerned. And this piece is going to go on here just to provide that little bit of extra visual prettiness. Okay. Now there's no pool party ribbon at the moment, but there's still white. This ribbon here, which is just basic 1/4" ribbon, is on the clearance, in the clearance area. So you can actually get it at a reduced price. And this ribbon is really nice. It can be coloured with our blends, it can be coloured with our ink. So it's up to you if you decide to do that. It colours beautifully with the blending brush at the same time. All right, so there's our inside. And these guys here are going to sit along that edge, and this one here is going to sit potentially along that edge there, so that you can see it provides a little bit of a visual, it brings the inside of the outside of the card to the inside as well. So let's put these guys together now. So I'm just going to move these up here and we're going to start gluing these bits together, because this is going to be our bundle of flowers and they're going to provide a bit of a visual prettiness. Now, one of the things that we do when we're paper toweling anything, we get our mat and we add some shape. So your piercing mat is really good for lots of things. This one's actually got lots of piercings on it, but your piercing mat's is good for lots of things, and one of them is for adding shape. So using your bone folder is we're going to want to shape some of these items. So we want to shape our leaves, and I'm just giving them a little bit of a push and a shove here. And because they're down the bottom, these are the ones that need to be shaped. Okay, just using the edge of my bone folder, gently massaging the paper so that our leaves get shaped. And then I'll just draw up here. Okay, and do that all the way around on all of our leaves. All right. The other thing that's going to need to be shaped here is also our flower that is in the middle, because it is the main flower. We're doing the flowers around it. So I'm just smoothing it out and sort of giving it a bit of a, you'll see it sort of trying to wobble up there a bit. Okay, because then I can come back along here and I can trace over some of these lines just to give it that little bit of shape. Now, the other thing that works really well is if you've got your take your pick tool with the stylus on the end. Okay, and I think I've got mine here. No, I don't. So I'm going to continue to use my bone folder. Okay, you can use your stylus on the end of your take your pick tool to do exactly the same thing, and just trace around them like you're drawing on them. Okay, down the middle of our leaves. And again, it just changes the shape of them. And the reason why I'm not doing those other flowers is because we're going to stick something over the top of them. But then what you can do is once you've done that, it'll be hard for you guys to see. Oh, hi, Lisa. That you can you see the lines there? That shows you where you can actually then come along and you can go like so. And you can add some extra shape in amongst those lines. All right, just on either side of them. So, and it just gives it it's a bit hard to see, a little bit more definition. All right, so that's that one. Then this one here, I just shaped that bit flower beautifully. This one here is going to sit on top of there, okay, to add an extra layer. And this is the one that probably needed to be shaped more. So we'll just give it a little bit of softening and we'll shape it all up and we'll do that all again. Okay, so just run that line along here. I could actually probably, you know what, I'm going to cut that leaf off. Because it's sitting behind that poinsettia and we don't need it on there. But you know what we've done is we've now created another leaf that we can add some extra bits to it. Okay, so that poinsettia, again, I'm just tracing around. If you want to, actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to cut another leaf off. I'm probably going to cut another petal off, actually. And that will show you what I'm talking about, even more so. So see this petal here, these two petals here, I'm going to cut these guys off. And there's a beautiful little line there that's all currently gold. That shows you how nicely where that petal is hiding at the back there. Okay. I'm just going to go around the back and give this a bit more shape because I really liked that extra shaping that we did on that first one. All right, so cut those off. Now these are then we're going to lay that one on top of there. And you'll see how those ones at the back are starting to give you that, it's starting to give you that extra dimension. Like I said, special people, special card, and I'm missing a flower. There it is there. Okay, so just going to give this flower a bit of shape. Actually going to give them all a bit of shape. And I'm going from the back first so that I'm just softening those bits of paper. Just softens the fibres up a little bit, makes them all jig around. And again, this time I'm just going to go and push in my centres here for this flower. And they're so pretty. They're like, it's just a different colour having that pool party in there. I really quite like it. Okay, this sweet, if you love this paper, absolutely. The sweet's not available at the moment because the gems that go with this, which are really nice, and do I have them here? Oh, really nice. The gems are out of stock at the moment. So if you want this sweet, you can get it, the majority of it, but you need to put all the numbers in individually. Okay. I haven't looked at the inventory list to see when it's back in, but the only reason you can't get the sweet is that at the moment the gems are not available. So the sparkling sequins, which are really, really pretty, I will tell you. Right, so they've all been shaped a little bit. You can see how they're not sitting flat on that piercing mat. I'm just going to push them off. Now, if you were doing a paper towel, you would use silicone, but we've got our fabulous dimensional. So we're going to dimensional this guy up. All right, so I'm going to put some dimension. I'm not going to put Yeah, we'll put some. Our glue dots also work a little bit because they've got a little bit of dimension under them. So I might use on this particular layer, I'm just going to use glue dots. So you can sort of see that they've got a little bit of height, and I think that's what this particular layer needs, is just a little bit of height, maybe in that center bit. So we might put a mini dimensional. All right, so nobody said you have to use everything the same. I'm going to put a mini dimensional in the middle of that pink poinsettia. And then I'm going to put glue dots everywhere else. Okay, just so that it gives it a little bit of height, but not too much. And you can lay glue dots on top of each other for extra height if you want it. Okay, well, it's nice and warm here, so they're a bit softer than they normally are. All right, and then making sure I've got my flowers in the right spot and my head in the right spot. You essentially are lining them up with where they sat when they were all cut out. Okay, and because I've got that dimensional under there, you'll see. Yes, they did have to send all of your sparkle sequins out, Donna. You're good at making them sell out of stuff. And now I'm going to add these extra flowers. So it's given can you see that how there's a gap there? But it's made it so it's almost a 3D image. And by adding these flowers, we're going to make it even more 3D. So it's because we've shaped them, it's up to you whether you actually just stick them on with a glue dot, because it will work, or whether you stick a dimensional under them. I'm going to stick them on with a glue dot, potentially two, one on top of each other, just to give them that little bit extra height. But we'll sort of see. Actually, I'll try this one first. Yeah, two is going to work beautifully. So this little guy is just going to sit very nicely just there. This particular one is, I moved them. Just got to make sure you get the right one. That one there, I think, let me see, I'll just measure it. Because now I've squished them all around. Yeah, that one goes there. I'm going to stick this one on with glue dots as well. And then I might put the red ones on with the dimensionals. Did your sparkly sequins arrive today, Donna? Because that was hopefully what was going to happen, wasn't it? Okay, and we've got this one here. And look, turning that one around there and sticking that over the top. Beautiful. So again, you can see they're just a little bit layered, a little bit. If I hold it that way, you can see there's just a little bit of extra layer. And then these guys, again, we'll have to make sure we've got the right flower in the right spot. And these guys I'm going to stick on with, they could actually go on straight with a dimensional, with a glue dot as well, because of the way I've shaped them. But it depends on how much you shape them as to whether you stick them on with a dimensional or not. I'm going to use dimensional because this particular card will potentially end up in the mail and the shaping may get a little bit squished. Okay, so I'll just take those bits off there. Okay, and then make sure we get it the right way around. And that just gives you that little bit extra. Okay. Got glue dots everywhere. And do you see what I mean? It sort of ends up like a little bit of a painting itself because of all they didn't. Oh, that's a bummer. All right. Now this one here is going to layer up there like so, because that's quite pretty. And then remember all these little extras that I had cut out here? They can actually add, you can add these underneath here for extra layers. Okay, so they don't go to waste. So just keep that in mind when you're chopping it all up and you're thinking, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This particular one I'm not going to use, but these leaves here that I had as extras, I can add some extra leaves and stuff because nobody's going to pull your card apart. They're not going to know. Okay, now what are we doing about a sentiment? I don't have the dies that go with this, which are absolutely amazing, but that's fine because I would have thought these season's greetings, sending love and joy, they've got like a, I don't know, oh, I'm going like this, a label die that looks really fabulous. So I'm just thinking that my Merry Christmas or the Just For You is going to go on the inside of this card. Or we could have, actually if we put 'Tis the Season, yeah, let's do that. And I brought over my embossing stuff because embossing is always magic. All right, so we're going to go with 'Tis the Season. I'll just get a block. Now, when I cut up my pieces of basic white, this is brand new, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean first because I don't know if you've watched me before, you know I like to do this. Now, this is this packet comes with these guys already written on it because it's in the folder. The new packaging doesn't actually have them on there. So you might want to, before you take it off anything, you might want to stamp it. All right. So I just put that there. Oh, is this block going to be big enough? It is if I use an angle. Okay. Nothing goes to waste here either, Cheryl. Don't you worry. All right, so I've got all these little bits of scrap as well. But when I cut up my basic white, I cut up big packets like this. So we just, cut up a little bit of basic white. And I end up with all of these left over. All right, you guys will probably be the same. It's great for cutting out little things, great for doing all that sort of stuff. But these little strips are also great for sentiments, especially long, skinny sentiments like this one. Now, if you're good at stamping and straight, great. If you're not, use a bigger one and just trim it down. Okay? But these sentiments, I'm just going to lay that precariously over the top of there. This sentiment is less than a centimetre. So when I put it on here, I can stick this on my ruler and I can see that this sentiment is approximately a centimetre wide, for want of it, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I love the strips as well. So I'm going to cut my sentiment strip. How are you, Kate? I'm going to cut my sentiment strip a little bit bigger than 1 centimetre. And this is one of the things I love about this trimmer, is it just cuts so nicely. Okay, and straight and accurate, even when you're cutting such little ones. Okay, it just does it. If you're still using the old trimmer, can I say now is the time for you to join and get your trimmer. I mean, the trimmer's $44, but now you can join and you can get the trimmer plus a whole heap of other stuff for $60. So you can get $235 worth of products for $60. There is no reason why you don't need why you don't have a trimmer. Let's emboss this in gold. We don't need that. We need that for SMR. All right. So I'm going to emboss this in gold, and I'm going to hold my tongue right, stamp that on there and Versamark. You cannot see it, I cannot see it until we create some magic with it. Okay. My gold embossing powder's in here. Just because this is where I like to keep it. Whoop. Excellent. Glad to hear that, Kate. And look, magic. Oh, I didn't rub it with my little pillow. So, all right. Okay. Let me just get the paintbrush out onto it. We've got, this is an old blending, an old Winker Stella that's no longer working. So I'm just cleaning up the little edges because the paintbrush that comes with the embossing special kit is a bit, what's the word for it? Is a bit big. All right. And now you won't be able to hear me for a second, so just hold tight. I'm just going to emboss this and watch the magic. Hello, Mabelicious. You ready? Watch this magic as I blow everything around the table. Ready? Here it goes. Here it goes. Can you see the magic? Hey, can you see that magic? Look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool, isn't it? So there we go. We've burnt the plastic and turned that into the beautiful embossed gold. Okay? All right. So, and then we've got our little strip that's going to go across there. All right. Let's start putting this card together. These girls are going to take this dog away and they're not going to keep disturbing me.
He's going to bark.
You're going to just take him with you. Okay.
We're going to, but he's going to bark.
I know he's going to bark. Shut the door on him. Okay. Start to glue some things together. Keep in mind I've got this hole here, so I don't want to put glue on that because it will end up on my table. Okay. The dog's ignoring them. It's so funny. He's going, no, I'm not going out there with you lot. Okay. All right. So that bit's done there. There they go. Yay. Look, see my hole? Yeah. Best trimmer ever, this trimmer. The blades are super sharp. That's what I was saying before they rudely interrupted me. The $60 special is great. If you want a trimmer and you haven't got a decent trimmer or you need a new trimmer because you've still got the old one, which you can no longer get blades for, yeah, it is better when you take the clear sticker off it. That's funny, I remember that. Yeah, you need the new trimmer. It's just fabulous. Okay, so we just push that down, and so that's all sticky there. These guys I'm going to stick together, but before I stick, I'm going to stick them together. Before I stick them together, I'm going to pop. Do I want it under there or do I want it under the? I'm going to put it under the. I'm going to stick this piece here underneath there. So I'll just put a little bit around the edge here. Yeah, didn't mean to drop that. Oh, she's back.
Back. Hi.
And this piece is going to go under here because my dimension is all going to come from my bunch of flowers. Okay. But I just wanted to hide that edge a little bit underneath there. Okay. This piece is going to get stuck down straight. Do I want to add? No, I'm not adding ribbon yet. Now, the other thing that we've got, which is pretty fabulous, there's a couple of pretty fabulous things at the moment. Look at that, how it fits just perfectly in there, and it looks so lovely. All right. The other thing that looks pretty fabulous is, I've lost my train of thought. These guys. Have you seen these? Everyone that comes to retreats getting these as well. Look at that. How pretty are they? They're all stars, and it's going to work for this as well. Now, they're not adhesive. They are like great for shakers and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to show you how you can adhere them to this as well. So we're going to put some, I'm going to use them instead of the traditional sparkly sequins because we can't get the sparkly sequins at the moment. So this piece is going to go here. Like so, which means these pieces need to stick in up there. Might stick those bits in last. Now, I do want to add a little bit of this ribbon trim, but I'm going to add it underneath that. So it's going to go, where is my tape? I like to add the ribbon trims with tape. The reason why I like to use tape is because I feel that it actually adheres it quite well. It doesn't like to go anywhere once the tape's on it. It's got a bit of it's frayed at the edge, so I'm just going to trim that up nicely. Just take your pick tool. If you're watching me for the first time, please make sure, or if you're on YouTube, make sure that you click subscribe. But if you're watching me for the first time, this is actually the crafter's tool, one of the crafter's tools that is an optional extra that comes with the take your pick tool. It's not included in the take your pick tool as such. Okay, I'm just going, this is still attached to my roll, this piece of ribbon, because I don't like to use waste ribbon, so I don't cut it until I know it's where I want it. Okay, so I am going to give it a little bit more on that, up a bit there. And one more here. And now I'll cut it. And I've always been like that. I even tie my bows on my ribbon roll. Now, if you're unsure if that's going to stick, it's really hard to get off. But I even tie my bows when they're on my ribbon roll. I just wanted to have that across there like so. Okay. And I'm going to use dimensionals to stick that down because I've got quite a bit of height underneath there. So I'll use big dimensionals, not these minis that I've got sitting here, because they are better from a big perspective. And I just find it easier at the moment to, when you're putting it on, you want to make sure, I just like to straddle the ribbon. I don't stick it over the top of the ribbon. That ribbon's going to stay stuck where it is because of that piece of tape. And I might stick a mini under that up there just so that I can, because I can. All right. I have a tendency not to put dimensionals over the top of the ribbon, and the reason being is it just doesn't seem to stick as nicely to ribbon as it does to paper. So that one there was the one from up that end. So that does look a little bit different, which is really quite nice. Just stick that down like so. And then these little bits here that we've got, remember how we had all these extra pieces? Just neaten them up a bit, because see how it's got that daggy bit there. All right, pop a little bit of glue underneath here, and then it can actually tuck in quite nicely to add another layer to, oh, we went funny. It just adds another layer to that card. Now, I've flagged one side but not the other. If you've got a piece of gold that you would like to put as a strip underneath, you can. But what I've also found is just actually even these little tiny thin pieces, sometimes you find that if you attach one of these underneath it, it works very nicely. So these can be a little bit difficult to attach because they're really thin, which is where this guy comes in. And I want it on the bottom, so I'm just going to run a very fine line of glue along here. And then I'm going to attach that and try and make it straight. Okay. Now, I could get the trimmer out and use it, but I can just use that piece up there as a line. And I'm going to even come down here and do that. All right. Depends on how thick you like to make it. Depends on how much you want to hide, how much of that pink flower underneath that you want to hide, but it's all up to you. Now, you remember that I said we've got these guys. All right. This is where you can come in with something like this, and I probably should have done it before I added it to my 'Tis the Season, but these little dots and things like that can actually come along here and do some really pretty stuff. They're all different in here. There's silver and gold in each sort, and they're coming apart. And you can see I've used quite a few of them, but not all of them. So depending on what, we've got to go with gold because we're not using silver on here. Depending on which one you want, depends on what piece you put down there. And I'm thinking, I might pull out, oh, yeah, that one. So essentially I've got these two. I'm going to pull out this one. Now these are rub-ons. So the way that they work is just cut off the bits that you want. Okay, and where you can see the gold, for example, in this case, there's glue underneath there. So it's 2 pieces of paper. There's foil under here on the back. So take off that protective layer, and I'm going to put this foil here and just run that along there. Then using my bone folder, I'm just going to rub those foil dots onto that piece of Cool Party. Okay, doesn't look like much yet. Okay, but watch this magic. As I peel them off, they've landed on there. Okay, and it just changes that from being plain. Okay, we'd already used part of that line for a different project, but I've got a couple of them here. Oh, no, that one's already used as well. So see how there's a little bit on that one too? It just gives you a little bit of extra, I don't know, something. There's a bit of zhooshing, for want of a better word. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm at it, I'm going to cut out these little pieces here because I'm going to use them too. Okay, and I'll just put them back in there. You can actually purchase these are metallic texture rub-ons. You can actually purchase these cases at the moment in the online store. So they're really handy for lots of different things. I keep my pens in them. I keep gems in them. I keep the metallic rub-ons in them. Now, if you get the rub-ons onto your glass mat, you will need a cleaner to get them off. They don't scrape off, just saying. Okay. The reason why I've kept these ones aside, they've still got the back on them, is they're going to go on the inside. This piece is going to go here, and again, it's going to straddle. Oh, it's going to do some straddling here. And I think I'm going to need a couple of dimensionals under this one. So if you're putting, because of the height, I'm thinking there's a dimensional there. This one here is going to need 2. Okay, so nobody said dimensionals have to be only a single layer, but what you'll notice is I've only put the double layer at this end. Okay, so when I put the double layer at that end, the reason being is there's already dimensionals under here. Okay, so we only need the layers at that end. Okay, because there's already dimensionals under there, so now it's actually quite even. See, it's looking pretty fab, isn't it? But like, see how it's got so much texture in it, right? And it's going to get some more because we're going to add some of these guys to there. Right? There's a couple of ways that you can put these on. Right. Let's stick a couple of little stars on. If you use the putty at the end of your take your pick tool, I'm just going to get some new putty because that bit's gross. Squeeze it up and eventually it will come out. Let's have a couple of stars. And the stars are numerous different sizes in here. So depending on what size star you want, depends on which one you're going to pluck out. Might just put some in there. They're all different. Like, so there's ins and outs and all different sizes, see? Now, what I have a tendency to do is I get a little bit of glue. There's a couple of different ways to do this. This is not the be-all and end-all of the world. Get a little bit of glue on the end, and I'll just go along and I'll just stick it a little bit of a dab on there and there, and I might put one here. And that's 3 spots of glue for 1, 2, and this one's going to be a little one, 3 stars. Okay, and then I'm going to put 2 stars down here just because I can. A little bit of glue, and let's go with another big one and a medium. Maybe I shouldn't have stuck that one on. I stuck that glue on the knob, but that's all right. It'll stick. Okay. Oh, it's fuzzy. All right. So we'll just move that to the side while that's drying, and we'll do our inside. So our inside piece has got these flowers. It's going to have these flowers on it. And I'm just going to put these on, and my ladies that come to class, which quite a few of them are watching, know that I like to hold up my pieces when I'm putting a little bit of glue on them. I just seem to have a bit more control, and I like that. So I'm just going to put this piece up here. Right. So don't throw away those edge pieces, okay? Use them to your advantage. Okay. It does mean you have to fussy cut a bit more, but that's all right, because they provide a nice border in here as well. Okay. All right, and then that piece is going to go onto here. Okay, and we're just going to hold our tongue right and get that in a nice right spot. And then these rub-ons, which I'm going to cut down even more because I don't want them all in the one spot. Please don't go up the right way. Oh, it did. Uh-oh. Gotcha. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some of these little dots in here, and they just add a little bit of an element of pretty. Okay, and this one here, again, take that back off. Now, if you're good, you can hold it up, get those 2 little pieces there off, and then put these 2 here. So I've got my hand in the way. Those 2 there, and it just adds that little bit of niceness. You can add stars in the inside if you want to. So I am extra careful when I add little here, because I don't want my card to stick to the inside to stick to the front. So you've just got to make sure that you don't put too much on. Okay, and we'll have one over here. Come on, out you come, just a smidge. All right, so where's my lid? Let's develop some legs. There it is. We haven't done the envelope or anything yet, but that's okay. We've still got time. So we'll put the big star up here, a little star here because there was only a little tiny bit of glue, and I need another big star for over here. And that'll make it just so that it matches the front. Okay. That's my inside. That would actually make it quite a pretty as well. Pretty front too, wouldn't it? And this bit's going to go on the inside of our card. So we'll just, oh, why did I shut the glue? Okay. Well, I think I just lost a star. And hold your tongue right when you put that in so it's straight. Everything goes in straight. Oh, that star wiggled. Close that up. Everybody's still on there. Just give them a bit of a shove down. And there's that. Now with the front, all right, this is where our stamp set's going to come in handy, because we've got all these little extra pieces here. We do have the little berries. If you want to stamp the little berries, you can, or you can emboss them in gold and then colour them in red, knock yourself out. But you can add colour. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop, this is a nice big stamp, okay? And I'm going to pop it on the block, and I'm just going to use that pool party that I got my kid to bring over. This one hasn't been cleaned before, so I'm just going to give it a clean first, just to get, so it's like it's got a film on it when it's brand new. So just give it a bit of a scrub. All right. And I'm going to put it on the back of my envelope, because as you can see, it fits perfectly. And I'm just going to stamp it in Pool Party. And then I actually don't need to do anything else to it, because I think it's just a stunning stamp that it's just really pretty, and it fit, like I said, it fits perfectly. Okay. Oh, I didn't stamp perfectly though, because I didn't press on it perfectly. Let me just line that back up. Sorry if you can see the top of my head. All right. I think that's the best I'm going to get out of that. All right. And then we'll put some on the front. It's a bit breezy out there. Here comes the breeze. All right. And there we have one very white, sorry about that, very white, pretty Christmas card. So that there is using the beautiful Traditions of Christmas Sweet Collection. Now, the Sweet Collection is not available at the moment as a single number. You would need to put in both numbers, and that is because the little sequins have sold out thanks to Donna, okay? But this suite is $244.25. So if you wanted this whole suite and even more stuff, you could get it with the $169 joining kit. Okay, so you could get it plus some cardstock, plus some inks, quite a lot of extra goodies. Essentially, purchase the $60 kit, purchase the $169 kit, joining kit, and normally you get what you normally do, but you're going to get $175 extra of all those goodies on either kit. So depending on what your budget is, depending on what you want, depends on which kit you buy. If you need help loading a kit, I'm very good at spending everyone else's money. It's not a problem, because I'm very good at spending mine. I'm more than happy to help. I'd love to have you on my UniQ Crafters. And yeah, yes, Donna needed lots of sequins, but that's okay, because you know what, there's more coming. And it's like anything, if you want it, get it while it's there. Because once it's gone, it's gone. Now you will notice that we did have a beautiful 12 days of Christmas, of advent calendar. It's gone. You can't get it in Australia anymore because they've sold out of it. So kits are the same. If you want any of the kits, especially the little nutcracker tags or anything like that, once they're gone, they're gone. So just be aware of that. We do have a last chance items list for a lot of things, but yeah, that ribbon that I showed you is on there. It's around the $8 mark at the moment. If you would like the ribbon, because it's a very easy to use, you can use it for anything, you can color anything, ribbon, get it while you can. You can add anything that's available in the online store to a joining kit, but bonus, we're actually doing pre-order for upcoming releases. When you click on join now, you will get to see all the stuff that's pre-ordered as well, because you're actually able to put that in kits too. So happy shopping, everybody. Look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great weekend. Love to see some of the things that you're crafting with this suite. If you want to add some photos to the comments, I'd love to see them. If you're following me on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get to see me when I go live at other times. If you're following me on Facebook, also head over to my YouTube channel and hit the like on there as well. That would be much appreciated. And I will catch up with you all later. Next week, I'm going to stream onto, oh, actually, no, not next week. I'm working on my getting back onto Instagram as well. So we'll see how we go. All right, everyone, toodaloo, and have a lovely weekend. A happy rest of your day. Bye. Oh, can't find the button. Ah, it's gone. No, it's still gone. All right, see you later.